going on, great people? What's going on? What's going on? How are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. If this is your first time here, do not let it be your last. Make sure you come back and see me. My name is Nisha. I am the Startup CEO, helping you to start, market, grow, and profit in your own enterprise as the CEO of you, whether you own a business, whether you're trying to up level to that next level in your personal life. I can help you do that. I personally have been a business owner myself for about 28 years. Okay, so today we are going to talk about real estate, and real estate is one of my businesses that I assist people in on a regular basis. I love real estate, I love the opportunity it presents, and I love sharing information with people about real estate. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So, if you are a renter currently, if you are thinking about renting in the future, if you know somebody that may rent, this may be the video for you. So, I need to turn this light on because I want you to be able to see me clearly and not be too dark. All this stuff going on in this time, nothing has changed. Real estate is still a great viable opportunity and a great business to be in. Okay. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I want to share with you, you may see me looking over at my notes every now and then. And it's because I wrote it down and I don't want to forget any information that I'm sharing with you. And so it's important for me to make you aware based upon the notes that I have. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to put them in the comments and I will be more than happy to answer them. If this is your first time to my broadcast and you like what you hear, you like anything about lifestyle, anything about business, family, vlogs, fun, travel, food, then this is the channel for you because I have a variety of things, lifestyle on this channel and real estate. Of course, I talk to you about my real estate investing business, my real estate entrepreneur business, my real estate just dealing with people on a regular basis in that business. And I also talk to you about starting a business, operating a business, growing a business, and profiting in a business. And I share my travels, I share my family, I share my cooking, excitement, and joys and endeavors, and all that in this one place. So don't be afraid. Go ahead and click that subscribe button, become a part of the CEO family, and you and I can communicate on a regular basis. All right. So the first thing I want to share with you, if you are thinking about renting, if you've never rented before, if you're currently renting, the first thing that you need to make certain of is that whoever you sign that lease with, whether it's 1 year, 2 year, 1 year is more common, that it is a responsible party. And I say that for many reasons because I have clients that I work with that have signed leases with people, whether it was in college, whether it was in their adult life, and that person was not responsible. And what I mean by responsible is somebody that is going to be on that lease that is going to help you pay that rent. And if they're not going to help you, that you won't be stuck with a legal issue at the end. Yes, that does happen because apartment complexes, they do register that information with the credit bureaus, and that can prevent you from buying a house in the future. It also can prevent you from renting somewhere else if you need to. So it's important to know that whoever you sign your name with on that dotted line, which is a legal document, a lease is a legal document, that person, that you're confident that that person will more than likely pay the rent with you in conjunction with you, like roommate situation. I mean, I see this all the time. I just worked with a client who had an eviction on their credit report because they signed a lease in college with other roommates, and that roommates two of the roommates did not pay their rent, and so that person that I work with was stuck with that bill on their credit report. Now the other people probably didn't even care. They didn't care that they had an eviction on their credit report, but this young person was trying to pursue other things in their life, like buy a house, rent a house, and those things can stop you. So before you sign the dotted line, I cannot stress that I love this enough. This is the first thing that you need to be aware of, that that person that you sign that lease with, that they're responsible and that they're going to pay their side of the debt. And that once you finish with that lease, that you can feel assured that when you leave that property, or if you have to re-sign again, that it's not going to be a stumbling block for you moving forward. Okay, that's number one. Number two, you want to make sure you pay with a check or a money order. Do not pay your rent in cash. As a realtor, when I'm working with people to help them buy homes, and I ask them, do you have proof and documentation so they can send to the lender to prove that they have a list of bills that they've paid? They tell me I pay my rent with cash. And when you pay your rent with cash, unfortunately, there's no way to document cash. And so it's important, even with the receipt. People want to be able to trace things. They want to be able to track how you paid your rent. So it's important to either pay online with a credit card. You can do that now. At least you have some type of electronic transfer. You want to pay in a check because again, that's an electronic transfer, or you want to pay in a money order that you keep the stubs. And you got to be very responsible because I see people lose stubs all the time. You want to be able to make sure that you have some type of documentation, paper trail to follow along the way. Keep copies of everything you do when you're renting. As I mentioned in the beginning, a lease is a contractual obligation that you are tied to complete the contractual period that you have available for the duration of renting. Number two. Number three, you want to make sure that you rent from a reputable company. I cannot stress this enough as well. Um, so many people out there. I'm a landlord myself. Uh, I have a business. My property is listed in a business format. But you have people who are landlords that don't have a business. And not to throw shade up under anything, but some people don't do business right. I'm just being real. Some people don't do business right. And those people that don't do business right hurt the people that do business right. With that being said, if you don't rent from a reputable company, it can really hurt you long term. And what do I mean by hurting you long term? In hurting you, you won't be able to get the information that you need when it's time for you to move forward and purchase a property or rent something else. Why? Because for the simple fact they're not running their business right. They don't know if you paid your rent on time. They don't know have good documentation of things that went wrong, things that went well, all of that. So when you work with a reputable company or a reputable apartment complex or a reputable landlord, they will keep these things in sacred order. They will also make sure that it's professionally done. So when it's time for you to move, you have that documentation to take with you and it's professional. Rent from a reputable company. Again, I can't tell you how many times that I've had paperwork come back and it wasn't from a reputable company, and the lender or the next landlord, if I'm helping somebody rent or lease another place, they're like, we can't take that. Why? Because they don't know if they've been late or not. And most landlords will not rent to you if you have a consistency of being late. Just like a mortgage company, you won't get a loan if there's a consistency of late payments. So please research the company, Google it, do whatever you need to do. Ask them how long they've been in business, just so that you don't get caught up. That's number three. Number four, you want to make sure that you complete the lease in good faith and in good terms. What do I mean by that? If it's a 12-month lease, make sure you pay your rent for 12 months and anything else that's attached to the rental of the property. Like most properties, you have to pay the utilities for most. Every now and then, you don't have to pay the utilities. My boys live in an apartment where their school is, and all the utilities are included, and they don't have to pay anything, which is a great thing because that's one bundled package, and that's good because you don't have to worry about water bill, gas bill, electric bill, all that stuff. Everything is included. But most apartment complexes are not like that. So you want to make sure that you leave that apartment in good faith by making sure you complete the terms of the lease, whether it's 6 months, whether it's a year, whatever you're signing for, that you complete it in good faith and you take care of all the necessities that are attached to renting that property, like the gas, the water, and the electric. Typically, you don't pay sewer unless you own a home or if you're renting a home. So make sure you do that. That's number four. Number five, you want to make sure that you give your landlord 30 days notice. Now, why is this important? Because it's a business decision, and I'm speaking from a business person. If you give me 30 days notice, I don't have no problem with you moving, but I want to be able to rent that place when you leave. Most landlords want to know in advance when you are leaving so that they can have the freedom to be able to rent that space out, that they're not losing any money. If you don't give 30 days notice, in most leases, it states that you have to give 30 days notice before you vacate. So again, you want to make sure you read the fine print of a lease. A lot of times people don't. I know in my business of helping people even purchase a home, just look at the contract and sign it. I'm like, wait a minute now, you're not going to hold me to this. I need you to read. Okay, reading is fundamental. And not only that, reading can save you some money, and reading can keep you out of legal trouble. So make sure you read that lease, okay? Most of them tell you 30 days, some say 60 days notice before you vacate the premises. And it's important that you pay attention to that before you sign in case your intentions change. Things happen every day. Things happen where people have to break leases. And if you break the lease, more than likely, they're going to keep your security deposit. They're going to keep your security deposit, and that could ding you later on unless you have a very good cause. Like right now, we're in the middle of this health crisis with COVID-19, and a lot of people don't have jobs. So a lot of people are either going to be breaking their lease. And it's important that you pay attention to that because read your lease and see if it allows you to, because you have to risk losing your security deposit and possibly being caught up in things later on, like a lawsuit, and possibly be caught up in not being able to rent or buy in the future. So pay attention to that. Make sure you give at least 30 days notice. And right now, a lot of landlords are flexible. Either they're working with you, or they know what's going on. So they're pretty much not going to be too upset if you have to move, because they want to get somebody in there that can pay them. Landlords are in business too. You just can't get free rent. You can't get live free anywhere. So the more responsible you are to your landlord, the more they're willing to help you. I'm speaking from a landlord, okay? And renting in the past, long before home ownership became an option for me. Number six, one, two, three, four, five, six. I think it's number six. And you want to make sure that when you vacate that premises, that the space that you're leaving is clean. And why is that so important? Because again, the landlord is in business. They want to rent that space out quicker, sooner than later. And if you leave the space nasty, they got to get a cleaning company come in and clean, especially if you smoked and all that kind of stuff. Make sure you pay attention to that too. If it says no smoking, make sure you don't smoke. People that don't smoke, like we can smell when people smoke. All right. So make sure you follow that accordingly. Clean up. If you have to hire your own cleaning company to come in there and do it, make sure you do it so you're not penalized, because a landlord can take your money, your security deposit, if you break that part of the lease. So make certain you clean up as much as possible. Bleach it out. You get the carpet clean. Make sure the walls are not dented or stained or anything of that nature. Make sure it looks like it did when you moved in. Okay, that is a criteria for renting a property, and it will say that in your lease. And if you want to keep your contract intact and you want to leave on good terms so that you can rent or buy in the future, make sure you clean that apartment back up where it's spotless upon vacating. Number seven, make certain you and the landlord are on the same page. And what do I mean by that? Being on the same page is meaning that whatever is contractually obligated to you and the landlord, that is clearly explained in the lease. Now, why is this important? Because, see, a lot of times people like to do oral leases. A lot of times people like to do say, well, I will do this, and you don't see it in the lease. You want everything. Real estate is all about contracts. I wouldn't move anybody in any of my properties without them signing the lease, because if you verbal means nothing, and it does not necessarily stand up in a court of law. And so you want to make sure that you have everything that the landlord told you they were going to do, and things that they told you they weren't going to do, that is in the lease, that you understand it, that you're on the same page. And you need to make certain of that before you sign your name on the dotted line. That's why it's so important. Reading is fundamental, that you read clearly, that you understand it. And if you have access to an attorney, that you allow them to read it for you and make sure that what you're signing is a legal document, because it is binding. that you're in agreement with it. Now, I do legal services. I help people get legal assistance. So I will put a link down below so that in case you are finding yourself in any type of legal situation with a landlord, with anything, you need some legal assistance and some help. Okay. Real talk. Make sure you're on the same page, because if not, you could be in a lawsuit, you can lose more money and get caught up in some stuff where it will be hard for you to rent and buy in the future. Number 8, which is my final one, before you leave that property and you've done everything that I mentioned, all the 7 things that I mentioned, you want to get proof from that landlord documenting that you've paid your rent on time. They can give that to you. You don't have to wait till you rent something else. That you've paid your rent on time and that you are in good standing with that apartment complex or that home, whatever you rented. Ask them in advance. You don't want to wait until 3 months or the next month and you get something and you're like, okay, I was never late on my rent, but it's showing on their form that they send to your new landlord or your employer. You know, employers can check all kind of forms of credit, that it says something that you did not agree to or that you were not aware of. So before you leave that complex, when you turn in your keys, ask, can you get a letter of reference? And that letter of reference basically will state that you are in good standing, you've paid your rent on time every month when it was due, you don't owe anything, that you left the premises in great shape, in great condition, and that you have no more business with that entity, that you're closed, done, kaput, it's over with. All right. So these are 8 things that I know as a licensed realtor, as a licensed broker, that I know are important when renting a home as a landlord. I'm sharing these things with you because a lot of times people get caught up, they don't know what to do, and it's too late. And unfortunately, when it's too late, it's kind of hard to retrace and retract what you hope you should have, could have, would have done. So I'm trying to help you in advance. So I hope this information has been beneficial for you. If you find it valuable, give me a like. I greatly appreciate that. Leave a comment below and let me know if you have any questions and what you thought of this information. If I shared something with you did not know, if I shared something with you you did know and you want to expand on it, let me know that as well. Don't forget to become a part of the CEO family by hitting that subscribe button to learn more about lifestyle and what I can do to help you up level to your next level in your life. Thanks again for being here. I'm Nichelle, the Startup CEO. Blessings and peace until next time.